It to go on. There it is. Hello, my name is Randy Rolfe, and I'm an independent consultant with the Nikken Company. And this is a product showcase. It's a live presentation every week, and it's also recorded. So whoever sent you to this video can show you where to see the recording on my YouTube, and many of them are already recorded on the Royal Alliance, but not every live one gets recorded. We just have too many of them by that time. But I'm going to share about our products, an overview. There are other programs that give you more detail about particular technologies, and there are also many wonderful calls that tell you about how you can develop your love for wellness and these wellness products into a second income or even a career. So I'm going to start by sharing PowerPoint, which keeps us on track about covering the ground here, because there's so much to learn through Nikken. It's all about discovering active wellness and living a life in balance. And I discovered Nikken 19 years ago, and a fellow activist in the wellness industry introduced me to it. He was a naturopathic physician, and I was a practicing family counselor and nutritionist, and I'd written a number of books on health, and together we were trying to raise awareness of nutrition and wellness in the Philadelphia area. And he had discovered Nikken, and he said, you really ought to look into Nikken. And at the time, I was getting my daughter ready for college. I was doing my family counseling practice. I was actually finishing a master's degree. And I said, well, I don't have time. And I had looked at network marketing before, and I just wasn't interested in competing with my local health food store with just one more nutrition line or something. So I said, half an hour. I'll give you half an hour to tell me about it. And so he sent me a tape, and I kept forgetting to put it in the car, but he did follow up and came to my house, and I said 30 minutes, that's all I got. I'm a busy person. And in 5 minutes, I knew it was what I was looking for, because it was a whole nother dimension to wellness. And I always looked for ways, studying nutrition and health and exercise, ways to increase the health of my family. And this was a whole other dimension based on returning natural energy to our home environment. And Nikken in the 70s figured out how to do this. And for 42 years, they've been sharing. They have millions of customers in over 20 countries, and truly amazing, amazing opportunity to benefit by active wellness. So what I learned in family counseling was that the most important part of life is the little choices we make every day. Do we smile at our children? Do we get to bed on time? Do we cook good food instead of just grabbing some fast food thing on the way home from work? It's little choices that build up to lowering stress and living up to our potential, or being a human under stress and not being a humans being more. And humans being more is and has always been the motto of the company. It's really about building people from the ground up, from their health up, and then their mental health as well, with good attitude and positive thinking. So small choices and consistency over time make a radical difference. Right now, our health situation, particularly in North America, is abominable. Stress is much worse than it was 19 years ago. It's the silent killer. It's admittedly contributes to 70% of the diseases, the chronic diseases that kill us early, and also all the conditions that reduce our quality of life. Heart disease, diabetes, cancer, stroke, fatigue, allergies, depression, anxiety, sleep problems, and weight problems are all involved with stress. And deeply involved with that is sleep. 70% of Americans have reported sleep issues. And we know that one poor night's sleep drops your immune system by 30 to 60%. And right after the holidays, irregular sleep patterns, not so good food, all that kind of thing makes us very vulnerable to wintertime viruses. So there's a lot of that going around right now. And taking some flu shot in September is not the way it is. It's the little decisions you make every day. Air and water pollution are everywhere. Our indoor air in most homes is now worse than the outdoor air because in the 70s we closed up our houses to save on cooling and heating costs. And so, and we've added thousands and thousands of chemicals to our environment. And those chemicals accumulate in the house. They don't circulate out in the air. And also the positive ions that are not good for us actually accumulate as well and make it harder for our lungs to get all the oxygen we need to breathe properly. So it's a vicious circle we're stuck in. I missed something there. The water pollution, 260 contaminants have been found in tap water by official reckoning, and bottled water has thousands and thousands of chemicals. They take out the chlorine to make it taste better, but all those chemicals that are in the tap water are still in there, and including endocrine disruptors that are getting more and more attention because they really mess up everything in the body, and agricultural chemicals, even medicines that have gone through other people's bodies. So if you can mute yourself, please. We're getting some extra sound coming in. So, of course, the people suffering the most are the kids. They now say that the generation coming up will not live as long as their parents. And that's the first time in American history that that has ever been the case. Obesity rates are at the highest. Over a third of the country was obese. 78 million adults and 12 million children by last count. And 1 out of every 5 adolescents is obese, and nearly 30% of the children are overweight, over 30% now. Inadequate consumption of essential nutrients, we know that's a major cause, and overconsumption of empty calories. And the risk of cardiovascular disease, cancer, and especially type 2 diabetes is seen more and more in younger and younger children. And this isn't just an accident. This is because of real poor lifestyle choices, because of stress, and because of the increasing toxic load on the body. Less than half of adolescents eat the needed amount of vegetables, and low-income families, of course, are in way worse circumstances, in food deserts, prey to aggressive advertising of poor diet, and of course more stress, anxiety, depression because of being low income. Only 27.1% of high school children are getting the amount of activity recommended for health, and that's perfectly understandable since they don't have any energy and they're trending towards being overweight. So what is the answer? It is about taking control of your own wellness, humans being more by active wellness, being healthy by choice, not by chance. And the active part is you really have to become aware of all the power you do have in your daily life to make those choices that will tend to keep you healthier. So that's why Nikken focuses on active health and being healthy by choice, not by chance. Nikken came to the US in 1989. Some of the founder's associates convinced him that the baby boomers, my generation, were interested in alternative health and wellness and weren't totally happy with a completely allopathic, chemical and surgical approach to health, just letting everything fall apart and then hoping the doctors could put you back together. Our generation were more into to nature and trusting nature and wanting to work with nature. So we were really expanding our awareness through yoga and Tai Chi and macrobiotics and vegetarianism and organic foods and all of those things. So Nikken introduced their philosophy to us in '89, and I found them in '97. And this wonderful philosophy of Nikken that they've lived by from the beginning, starting in Japan in '75, is the 5 pillars of health: healthy mind, healthy body, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. And Mr. Masuda, the founder, said this is the only way to live a rewarding life in balance, to have all 5 of these areas in balance and in abundance. You need to feed them all. And my husband and I really embraced this because we both had been Philadelphia lawyers in the '70s and dropped out because it was not a lifestyle that suited us. But we thought we'd kind of given up the big finances that the top lawyers were making. And but Nikken says, no, you don't have to sacrifice your healthy mind and your healthy body, having time with your family, contributing, donating to society, just to chase the dollar. And I knew partners in the law firm that were making high 6 figures, but they were divorced a second time. Their children didn't speak to them. They looked pasty and fat, So you can have it all with Nikken, which I absolutely love. So how does Nikken do it? Well, it's about their products. Their products are unique, they're patented, and they're always evolving. Nikken brought the whole idea of Earth's good magnetic energy being around us all the time. And since then, they've developed a full line, the most comprehensive line of wellness products on the planet, including sleep support, water quality support, air quality support, light quality support, and food quality support. And so the Nikken advantage is having a superior position in your wellness program. And that picture, if you're looking at the video, is a lovely house that is what Nikken came to call a wellness home. So Nikken's active wellness products are backed by science and based on nature. It's science replicating nature. And what they've done is they've done an amazing amount of technological research, universities all over the world, research facilities, and developed products that make it really easy for us customers to get the benefit of true wellness. Nikken provides you with leading-edge science-based products and technologies that help people make sustainable changes that improve the quality of their lives. And we have 3 basic categories: nutrition and skincare, environmental products, and rest and relaxation products. I'll start with the rest and relaxation products because that was the core from the very beginning, was bringing magnetic energy back into our lives. Because most of our homes have concrete basements, we're surrounded by electric, and since Nikken came to the US, we now have a microwave everywhere, and in our cell phones, in our appliances, in our devices, the computers we're looking at right now, or the mobile phones, there's all kinds of emissions that are unnatural to our bodies, which distorts and diminishes the natural energy movement in our bodies. And all living things developed in magnetic fields. They're very excited that they did find some sign of magnetic fields on Mars, which means it was possible to have our kind of life at some point on Mars. But the magnetic field has diminished on Mars, so they don't expect anything to be living there now. Anyhow, we need it. And on the picture is insoles, which I have in my shoes and put in every pair of shoes I put on. And this is in the 4th generation. Most of Nikken's products are in a 3rd or 4th generation of technological development. They never stop trying to improve our lives. It's awesome. So the insoles, we find balance, sense of well-being improve, often discomforts diminish. Truly amazing. It's just like walking in the park all day instead of indoors on concrete surrounded by electric and Wi-Fi. Then we had, they developed some localized pads. There's a square there that's very popular that is designed for the lower back, just to give it that good beneficial energy like you're lying on the ground under a tree. It's amazing. And then they developed a futon style mattress topper that is in its 4th generation, all natural material, patented magnetic power buttons throughout the topper, and wonderful, no chemicals, because the natural materials are combined in a way that prevent inflammation, fires in the bedroom, even though they don't have to have the protective chemicals. So there's no fire risk. They meet all the requirements without chemicals, which is a feat in itself. Then there's a comforter that has the magnetics and 2 other technologies that Nikken incorporates into its rest and relaxation, and that's the far infrared, that's the warming energy of the sun, and beneficial negative ions to counteract all those positive ions. The negative ions also tend to pull toxins out of the air, which is cool. And then an ergonomic pillow. So that is the beginning and the core of Nikken's product line, because sleep is where your body restores itself. So a deep restorative sleep is extremely important to active wellness. Then the environment, we have a water system that not only purifies the water as well as any other system on the market today, but it also adds the magnetic energy, the far infrared energy. It has the proper ions that make the water like nature and make it available to the body. And it alkalizes the water to counteract all the influences in modern life that acidify our systems so that our systems don't work as well. And it tastes fantastic. Most people don't drink tap water because it tastes awful. Even bottled water doesn't taste all that great. But this water tastes alive, it's smooth, it's soft, and kids drink it, people love it. We also have a carry bottle that does the same thing, so you never have to be without your Pi-Mag Nikken water. We have a shower system that also creates Pi water that's good for the skin, good for the hair. The air system is the finest filter out there, but then it also produces the negative ions without producing ozone, which is a toxic, caustic side effect of most units that produce negative ions. And then you'll see a picture of the light, which is a full spectrum light, LED, doesn't flicker, and it has extra blue to help you normalize your day-night cycle. And the nutrition, of course, I could talk about that all day, being a nutritionist, but Nikken's line of nutrition I was so excited about when I investigated it back in 1998, because it is cutting edge. They minimize any kind of additives and fillers and maximize the balance. And so nothing's megadosed, everything's formulated with synergistic food factors and other minerals and vitamins that work with the supplements to support the body organs as nature intended, not manipulating it, but working with the system. One of our signature products is the bone health, and we also have an amazing meal replacement. So really investigate those, because they are so superior to anything else available. We work with the scientists that developed the osteodens, for instance, that actually helps keep bones healthy the way nature intended in mother's milk. So that's the kind of quality that we have. So I'm going to ask you to think about your own wellness status and the different 5 pillars, if any of those is weaker than the others, then you know the others start to suffer. So Nikken actually has a whole life program that can help you in any of those areas. And we define success as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So I'm going to stop my PowerPoint right now and invite Dee Welsh, hi Dee, to share her stories about Nikken. And Dee is one of the many wonderful people I've met in Nikken. I love our collaborative entrepreneurship because you're with people who like personal growth and are into natural wellness. So what a great combination. So Dee, thank you for agreeing to be my guest on short notice here, because my expected guest didn't make it. So I love your hairdo, it's so cute. So welcome, Dee. Please start out by just telling us what caught your attention about Nikken and what were you doing at the time?
Yes, I'm a nurse by background, and for 22 years I was working in the field with folks who had been injured. And about 8 years ago, a friend asked if she could tell me about what she was doing now. She was a brand new consultant with Nikken, and I said, well, what? I didn't know anything about it. She didn't even mention the name of the company, I don't think. And I said, well, why do you want to tell me about it? And I mean, I'm a nurse. Of course I'd be interested in health, right? But for some reason, that's what came out of my mouth. Why would you want to tell me about it? And she said, Dee, you're always tired. And that was so true. I was working a lot of hours a week. It was very interesting work. I felt like I learned something every day, and I hope I contributed every day. But I really had been not sleeping well for 15 or 20 years. And when I was in my mid-30s, I was in a car accident, and I was in the hospital 3.5 months, most of that time in traction because of multiple fractures in my femur, and then teeth bashed in, clavicle. Those were less significant. But over time, after I had gotten out and all, there was a leg length discrepancy, which then threw me into curvature of the spine. So I would have pretty significant back discomfort, neck, upper back, lower back, numbness down to my knee, multiple times a day. And that in combo with not sleeping well, I was tired all the time and dragging, plus working a lot of hours. And so I was just interested to hear what it was about, because all I wanted to do was feel better and have more energy. I wanted to have more energy for myself and my life and my work and my children and my grandchildren, and just a lot of things I wanted to do yet in life. And I wanted to feel good to be able to do those things. So I started using many of the products pretty quickly. The water, some of the nutritionals, the insoles, a number of the technologies. And then a couple weeks later, the sleep system came, and I fell asleep right away. And I woke up before the alarm went off, and I thought, oh my God, this is what a good night's sleep feels like. It felt so good. And so that has been just a gift. I mean, the combination of all the things. When the bone health products pack came out, I started those because I'd had a history of low bone density for quite a number of years, and had actually taken some of the prescribed medications from them until I found out that there was a potential for some pretty significant side effects, especially femur, and I thought, I've already done that. I don't want something happening from a side effect of a medication. And so I went on the bone health pack and then had a scan almost a year later, and it was in the normal range, and it has continued to be in the normal range the last 7 years, and I'm that much older. So it's I am so grateful that I was introduced to it and was open and looking to feel better in a natural way, because I feel better than I did before, and of course I'm that much older. I have more energy. I sleep well. I rarely have discomfort. The other night, I twisted my back getting something heavy out of the oven. And for a couple days, my back was talking back to me, but I was using our products. And in the past, that would happen quite regularly. And it would be, I'd have discomfort for 4 or 5 days at least, and, have some other visits that I'd have to fit in and all of that to try to help it get better. And so the recovery from things, I find when something does happen, is just that time is shortened in my experience. And so the other thing, when I was first introduced and they talked about the 5 pillars of health: healthy mind, healthy body, healthy families, healthy society, healthy finances. And the idea of balance in life, I've sort of always said, to me, heaven is going to be perfect balance. And so I couldn't, the goal of balance in those areas just resonated with what I believed anyway, as a core. And then the idea of humans being more, the founding philosophy of the company. I just loved everything I heard. So I'm so grateful. And to me, anything that I have invested in the products, or even, attending our conferences or whatever, to me has just been priceless. I can't even put a figure on it, because health is such a core to everything else we need to do and want to do in life. And I'm just grateful. So thanks, Randy.
Oh, thank you, Dee. It's a wonderful story, and we have so many healthcare workers, professionals in Nikken, because they started out wanting to help people heal and feel better and have better lives. And we just have a couple more minutes, but can you address that? Like, when you became a nurse, you were looking to, well, you can say it, and how is that fitting now with your nurse's perspective?
Yes, definitely. I mean, that was the goal, why I went into it as in my late teens. And now to have that base and that education and that experience, and then have this added natural way of looking toward a prevention and a lifestyle, and a way that we can really take ownership of in such an easy, natural way. And we need both, I think. Our Western model is outstanding in so many ways, and acute care and emergency care and trauma care, we just excel at that. And yet we know, because of all the exposures and everything that are in our environment, and food and water, and the stress that you talked about, the chronic problems that we see hitting the younger and younger people, like you mentioned even our children now. If we can prevent some of the things, some of the trajectory that we're going on as a society, and help people recover from some of those things in a safe, effective way, that's easy to incorporate into our lives and share with other people, it just makes sense to do that. And I love it. I love the combination that I've had the privilege to be part of.
Very cool. Yeah, my dad was a physician, and he always said, start with nature, trust nature first. And I love that about Nikken, that it's really about working with nature, supporting the body. And like you said, Western medicine has a great way. If there's an acute problem, they can try to get the body back where it can help itself. But there's so much we can do by active wellness to do that on our own, and maybe even, keep ourselves healthy or recover quicker. So many athletes find they recover quicker from the high stress they have, and mental stress as well. It helps so much with moods. If you have a good night's sleep, your mood's better. You smile at your kids. That's where I started.
Yeah.
About smiling. So thank you so much, Dee. And let me go back to one of my slides to encourage people to get involved. Go back here to let's see. Just our little reminder of what it's all about. So let's see here. Got to get to the end. Here we go. Yes, discover it, live it, share it. Become a customer. It's very easy. Whoever sent you here, they're your sponsor, and they'll help you get set up. It's free to become a customer. You get your own order page if you want, or you can just ask them to put in your order. You don't even have to register to get a hold of some of these products. And just start somewhere, whatever interests you the most at the time. The nutritionals, they have a special deal for customers if you order the nutritionals regularly, or start with the insoles, start with the water, or start with the little back support. We've talked a lot about backs. And if you fall in love with the products, of course, there's a wonderful part-time entrepreneur opportunity, which Dee and I are both enjoying. And we have actually hundreds of thousands of people trying to share with their friends and family around the world. So do get involved. And it's all about education, that active wellness, choosing to become aware. We have many, many resources, recordings, CDs, YouTube channels that you can educate yourself about Nikken. And we'd love to have you become a customer and join our team of forward-thinking people. We're part of a active wellness revolution around the world, and really appreciate you listening, and have a great day. And thanks again, Dee. Really appreciate you sharing. So I'm going to stop our recording now.